Good morning, friends. I pray that wherever in the world you are right now, the next 2 minutes are a blessing to you, so you can be the blessing to the people the Lord has put in your life today. So we're almost to Easter. But before Easter is Good Friday tomorrow, and if you happen to go to a service, I'm sure, or if you happen to read a devotional, you're going to read these words that originated actually in Psalm 22, but they're the words that that Jesus actually said while dying on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? And it's interesting because I read this devotional in Spurgeon's Morning and Evening, and this was the verse, and I thought to myself, oh, I wonder why they didn't quote it in one of the Gospels, because that's what Jesus said. And but they actually quoted it in Psalm 22, which was where it was originally written by David. And anyway, Spurgeon just makes the point that if you have ever experienced this feeling of abandonment by the Lord in your life, like there are times when we walk with the Lord and we know we're walking with Him and He's speaking to us and He's guiding us, and then there are other times where we feel like we can't see Him, and then we somehow attribute that to Him forsaking us or abandoning us, that it's actually an illusion on our parts, because the only person that God ever ever withdrew His presence from, was Jesus on the cross. So in a sense, we only feel the shadow of that, which is kind of language used in the next psalm, the most famous psalm, I think, Psalm 23, where he talks about the shadow of death. And I recently heard Tim Keller explain the shadow of death as opposed to real death. And anyway, this just reminded me of that even in hard times when we feel like the Lord has forsaken us, He actually hasn't, because He says, I will never leave you or forsake you. And if you can imagine how hard it is during that time in your life, you can get a glimpse, and that's just the shadow of Him forsaking you, just the illusion of how incredibly, you'll just get a glimpse, a glimmer of how incredibly difficult it was for Jesus to have been abandoned by God on the cross. And that's what He did out of His love for you, out of His great joy of the thought that if you believe in Him, that you will spend eternity in heaven with Him. He did this for you. Anyway, that's it. I was just thinking about that this week. So I hope that's a blessing to you this Easter week, as it was to me today when I read it. All right. I pray that this is a blessing to you as you go out or stay in. Until next time, Katie.